One of the things that I was troubled by when I got into this last June, and I remember sitting down with Roger for an evening in my office. I think we spent about 4 hours after hours, and him taking me through all of the history. All of the history of the remediation effort and the controversy. I was troubled by the fact that all of the most recent data that I saw had a date on it of about 1993, and nobody had really bothered to go out and sample and do all of the hydrogeological survey work that was necessary to really characterize the current nature of the contamination. So, as was mentioned earlier, we have just completed a very extensive sampling program so that we can completely recharacterize the nature of the contamination and better understand it. That's the first thing we've got to do, is get a current October 1995 understanding of what the problem is. And I think there are really two things that are very critically important that are first and foremost in my mind. Number one is that the 1,4-dioxane problem must be remediated. Number two is that through the remediation method, we cannot exacerbate the problem, and we cannot affect anyone that is currently unaffected by the problem. And when you see the fact that this is put into a first stage trial, when we're taking water out of the ground and we're putting it back down in, we want to fully understand the hydrogeological dynamics of what we're dealing with. We're taking water out, treating it, and putting it back in. And our agreement with the DNR is that in that process, and we think we can manage this to successful conclusion, but our agreement is we will not, by groundwater reinjection, substantially change the size and the shape of the plumes. And we're going to be very, very careful that in putting water back into the groundwater tables, we don't push this problem out and cause a new problem for anybody that doesn't have it today. Let's solve it in the right way. Let's solve it with groundwater reinjection, but let's be very careful and cautious in our approach and make sure that we don't make the problem worse or affect anybody that's not affected.